Alrighty guys, we're back for some underplayed red, and this is a Streets of New Capenna standard build. We're going to go over the deck, then hop right into some normal play mode. But first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to you. So what on earth is going on here? This deck completely consists of cards that I believe are underplayed. So I was looking through all the red cards that are going to be around after rotation, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of terrific red cards that we just don't see played anywhere. So I made it a little challenge for myself. I was going to put together a deck with only cards that barely see any play, and this is what I landed on. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. I kind of cheated with the Crucible of Defiance because it is a land, so I hope you guys are okay with the Crucible of Defiance being in here. But you'll notice like Den of the Bugbear's not in here because yeah, the deck is completely rotation proof. So if you end up playing this build, you might want to add some of your dens too. Okay, what do we have in the deck? We have 4 Pit Fighters, a 1-drop 2/1. You can pay 2 mana, discard a card, sacrifice a vampire to draw 2 cards, activate only if an opponent lost life this turn. So the ability is pretty meh, but it could come in handy. It's really the fact that this is a 2/1 red creature. Like, why don't we see this being played anywhere? You don't see it in mono red aggro ever. You don't even see this in vampires really, right? So yeah, where's Pit Fighter? Speaking of where is a card, where are the Sticky Fingers players? Is this card not amazing? If you are a Sticky Fingers player, let me know in the comments because this has so much value packed into it. 1-drop enchant creature. Enchanted creature has menace. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. Sweet. When enchanted creature dies, draw a card. Okay, that's something you want to see on an enchantment aura for sure. It's going to work great in here. Imagine slapping this onto a Pit Fighter, and eventually you can use the Pit Fighter's ability to sacrifice itself. You get to draw a card off of the Sticky Fingers and draw the 2 cards off the Pit Fighter, really filtering through your deck. I don't know how often you're actually going to want to do that, but that is an option. Couple Strangles, probably the most played red card in this build, but we really don't see it. It's completely overshadowed by Voltage Surge, Frostbite, even Play with Fires, right? So the fact that this is sorcery speed really does slow it down, but I feel like it's still underplayed because it is 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. That's still a ton of damage as far as red goes, and it's still only 1 mana too. 4 Voldaren Stingers, 1-drop 1/1. When it's attacking, it has first strike. You can tap 3 Voldaren Stinger, gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Okay. Overall, probably one of the weaker cards in the build, but it is a vampire, so it works with Pit Fighter as well. And there's a couple other cards that it works with too, which we'll go over in just a second. We have an Abandon the Post, a 2-mana sorcery. Up to 2 target creatures can't block this turn. It has a flashback for 4, so double the cost. This is a jankier card, but it's only a 1-of. And hear me out. How many times are you up against a mid-range build that locks down the board because they ramped into a locked down board state, and they're going to start to be able to trample through, but you can't do much. You can't swing through without losing all of your creatures and stuff. Abandon the Post might help us get that bit of damage through that we need to. I don't know. It seems underplayed. We'll see. For Crackling Emergence, I know why this card's underplayed, but I'll go over it first. 2-drop enchantment aura, enchant land you control. Enchanted land is a 3/3 red spirit creature with haste. It's still a land. If enchanted land would be destroyed, instead sacrifice Crackling Emergence, and that land gains indestructible until end of turn. This one's easy. Exile. There is too much exile removal for Crackling Emergence to see much play right now, but I think it's a pretty sweet card. Probably underplayed, but we'll see. It probably will never have its time to shine. But in this build in particular, it's going to be pretty cool because we're also rocking Flamebreather, a 2-drop 1/3. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Flamebreather deals 1 damage to each opponent. So that works with the enchantments in this build too. So it works with the Strangle, Sticky Fingers, Crackling Emergence, Abandon the Post. It also works with Curse of Hospitality, and we have 3 Stensia Uprisings in here too, so those are going to be pretty fun. Flamebreather is one of those cards that I think people focus too much on building around Flamebreather, right? They pack it with instants and sorceries. They go the burn route, for example. In the long run, even just being a 1/3, it blocks a ton of stuff. It could block a ton of stuff in the Boros aggro builds and stuff too. So, yeah, underplayed, right? 4 Alluring Suitors. So 3-drop, 2/3. When you attack with exactly 2 creatures, transform Alluring Suitor. This card is great because it turns into Deadly Dancer, a 3/3 trample. When this creature transforms into Deadly Dancer, add 2 red sources. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as a steps and phases end. So that means you can like use this to play a creature in your second main phase, right? Excuse me, guys. So for 2 mana, Deadly Dancer, and another target creature you control, and another target creature each get +1/+0 until end of turn. So yeah, that's pretty solid. Is this card not just really good? It's really easy to flip too. You can just turn 1 Pit Fighter, turn 2 Flamebreather, turn 3 Alluring Suitor, swing with your other 2 creatures. This flips to a 3/3 trample. Yeah, you don't get to swing with it that turn, but does it really matter? It's a solid card. You also get to play something else that turn too then with that 2 mana. I don't know, we'll see. Couple Curse of Hospitalities, 3-drop enchantment aura, enchant player. Creatures attacking enchanted player have trample. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to enchanted player, that player exiles the top card of their library, of the opponent's library, until end of turn. That creature's controller may play that card, and they may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really butchering some of these readings. I apologize. Again, just another solid card. Why don't we see this being played? Is there not like some kind of Gruul mid-range that could at least use one of these for the trample ability alone? Holy cow, it shocked me when I was going through all these red cards. 4 Creepy Puppeteers. So we see this sometimes, maybe 1 out of every like 200 games. Even then, we really don't see it. 4-drop, haste, 4/3. When Creepy Puppeteer attacks, if you attacked with exactly 1 other creature this combat, you may have that creature's base power and toughness become 4/3 until end of turn. So that works great with the Stinger, who would also have First Strike. Works great with whatever you attach Sticky Fingers to because it has Menace. Works great with the Flamebreather because it's usually just a 1/3, but now it's a 4/3 that you're swinging in with, right? Yeah, it's a pretty cool card. It even works great with the Deadly Dancer, who already has Trample. Or maybe you don't need that Trample because you already have Curse of Hospitality out there giving all of your creatures Trample that's attacking the opponent. So Creepy Puppeteer is going to be pretty good overall, I think. Then the 3 Stensia's Uprising. So 4 mana enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, create a 1/1 red human creature token. Then if you control exactly 13 permanents, you may sacrifice Stensia Uprising. When you do, it deals 7 damage to any target. I think it's going to be really easy to control how many permanents you actually have on the board. With cards like Sticky Fingers giving us treasures, I think it's going to be really easy to control getting down to 13, and then maybe this just gets that last little bit of damage to the opponent's face. Other than that, if you're up against control, then it's pretty terrific because it completely supplies your board with more and more creatures, and then you could top deck a Puppeteer, and now one of those 1/1s can become a 4/3 as well. Pretty solid, pretty solid. What do you guys think of the build? It took me a lot longer to go over this list because we don't see these cards that often, do we? Either way, let's go ahead, take it over into some normal play mode and see how it does. We'll see if we can get right into the first match this evening. Oh, there it is. That's the good luck we're looking for. Okay. Underplayed red cards. Can it do a thing? Yeah, hopefully I went over the deck well enough. I know I took a lot of extra time to go over the deck, but yeah, hopefully that was a good thing. Flamebreather. Opponent now thinks we're playing Burn. Dang, they flipped their they flipped their Delver turn 1. That's pretty bad. Oh, Ledger Shredder. Opponent, go over to Ranked. Get out of here. Get out of here, opponent. Okay, Alluring Suitor. Okie dokies. Sticky fingers. Swing. Alluring Suitor. It was worth it. Totally worth it, right? I hope so. I hope that was worth it. Woo! Scary business on the opponent's side. This is gonna be an uphill battle. Ooh, Creepy Puppeteer's good though. So's Uprising, honestly. So's Curse of Hospitality. I don't think we survive next turn if we don't keep a blocker back, but even then, we might not survive. It'd be nice to swing with the Flamebreather over the Suitor, because then we can get the treasure and we can play Curse of Hospitality this turn too. But then they get to connive off the Ledger Shredder. Oh no. Oh, what's this? Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, we're fine. We totally won't die next turn, right? We're fine. Everything's fine. You know what's cool though? Our deck did a thing. Like, we kind of have a cool setup going on over here, but up against Illuminator Virtuoso being able to probably just kill us this turn. Yeah, it's fine. I do like this first match because I think we got to showcase our deck pretty cool. You see a guard approach is really spicy, isn't it? Creepy Puppeteer being tapped down. Oh, buddy. Well, opponent's trying to count to 12, and I'm sure they'll get there. Or maybe they won't, and that's why it's taking a second. They're trying to decide which cards to actually keep back. Alright, I think they're gonna get there. I do. Oh, if they play a land, yeah. That's how to do it. It was worth the swing. I don't want to play a game where I'm just over here blocking Virtuoso, chump blocking Virtuoso every turn, you know? Not seeing any removal for the Delver early on there too. We had nothing to really slow down the opponent. We give a couple counters to the Ledger Shredder just based on my plays too. Either way, Azorius Virtuoso would have been a very tough match. Onwards to the next one. If you guys enjoy this concept of me just putting an entire deck together with underplayed cards, then please let me know in the comments, and I can do more stuff like this in the future. I figured we'd at least start with underplayed red cards, because, you know, Red Cat MTG, you know? Good hand. Very good hand. Turn 3 Crackling Emergence is probably, well, I'm gonna save the treasure off the Sticky Fingers and actually strangle the Hobgoblin Captain. How do you guys feel about that play? Gruul Goblins. I really hope that's what we're up against, because that sounds awesome. Red Bat, take a little break, buddy. There you go. Okay, we do get to draw. Creepy Puppeteer's a little bit worse now that they removed that, but it's still a 4/3 with haste regardless. But yeah. Let's go Crackling Emergence here. Get some extra damage through. And see if we can drop the Puppeteer next turn. After we play the Mountain. Maybe swing for 8 to the opponent's face. A little bit weird line of play, because we'd want to get the Flamebreather down before dropping the Crackling Emergence for maximum amount of damage, but keeping these two open. Whoa, I want to use the treasure here. Now does it tap correctly? It does. And then take action. Opponent's down to 7. A lot of options. Crackling Emergence has haste, so can always power up one of these mountains. Nice. Nice. GG. Let's go, guys. We got there. It's great to see the land, the powered up land out there doing work, you know? We have plenty of time for more matches. If they're all that fast, we're gonna accidentally get like 10 matches in at this point. Well, then again, it did take me almost 10 minutes to go over the deck, didn't it? That's one of the reasons I started adding the chapters to the videos. That's something else. If you guys have been using the chapters, let me know in the comments. I am really curious if you guys have been using the chapters to like go to the next match and stuff like that. Hey, Strangle! Look at that. Look at the opponent. Would you look at that? Nice. Nice. Like I said earlier, it's one of the most played red cards in this build, but most of the time we don't see it. Especially in a build with snow. I'm surprised that's not a Frostbite. So it's probably 4 Frostbites and 1 Strangle or something. Fun line of play here. We get to actually get Flamebreather down here too. Which I'm going to do, even if it is a play with fire. This is worth the risk. It's worth the risk because we could draw. Well, okay, Scoot Swarm. It wasn't a board wipe. That's good news. Mountain. Is this a full swing? I think so. Even though we could play another Alluring Suitor to turn into a Deadly Dancer if we just swing with 2 of these. Like these 2. Not worth it. I'd rather... Well... Alright, yeah. So they're gonna get another 1/1. They might try triple blocking the Deadly Dancer. We could always just turn one of these into it next turn too. It might have been a good idea to play one of these because we would have gotten the 2 mana back to pay for the ability. Either way, we're gonna go ahead, get 6 damage through here, and play the other Alluring Suitor and really hope that there's no board wipe. Doesn't feel like there's going to be, but woo, buddy, that's gonna be a lot of tokens. Come on, guys, we can get there. The opponent's at 7 because of the life gain from the courtyard. We can totally get there. I'm trying to think of what we... Oh, nice. Nice. You gotta get rid of that trample. Stinger. Okay. Try to get some extra trample damage through while... See, now we gotta get as much onto the board as possible. Both of these flip. Couple extra mana to spend. take action, because trample is going to be important. See what they do. They want to chump the Puppeteer, and they might try to take out the Dancer. Yep, they know that much. They know they have to chump the Puppeteer because it doesn't have trample on its own. What's this? What is that? I don't know. Doesn't matter where this other one goes. We're just going to try to buff it as much as possible here. Could only attack with 2 of the creatures. We couldn't like full swing to effectively do this. Okay, well, the opponent's at 1. So all we need to do is get a non-creature spell off the top. Mascot Exhibition. Okay. Come on, Flamebreather. GG, opponent. GG. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, man. That was sweet. Woo. We could have just like drawn a land there and we would have been very sad, but it's really good to see underplayed cards doing a thing, you know? And with a deck like this, the opponents really will have no idea what's coming for them, like at all. so that's really fun. That one made me a little nervous because we don't have too much removal in the build. Just the couple strangles. We're really relying heavily on just getting those creatures down and through. Over in ranked right now, been running up against a lot of is it builds, and the more removal you have in your creature-based deck, the worse against those builds you do, because they don't do anything. Like, your removal doesn't do anything against Goldspan Dragon. If anything, it just makes the situation worse because now you spent mana trying to remove a Goldspan Dragon. I don't like seeing both Curse of Hospitalities here. This is definitely the slowest hand of the evening, but worth keeping. Hello, opponent. Hello, my go. Oh, thank you. Oh no, we have a talker of an opponent. So we can get the Stinger down, but we definitely strangle Galagreeters. Definitely. Can't let them get too much ramp. Oh! Professional Facebreaker would have been good too. Crackling Emergence is 100% fine here. We could have ramped with Sticky Fingers as well, but this is good. We get damage through and we have a chump blocker for the Facebreaker. No, we don't. That has Menace. You guys would think I'd play with Facebreaker enough to actually know. Because I do play with that card often. Stimulus package? Nice. Nice. Alright. Mountain. Curse of Hospitality. Ah! I forgot you have to target the opponent. Good game. Good game, opponent. It was solid. It was solid. They're gonna double block the Stinger. They are. All the treasure. Wow. Okay. I mean, we get to draw a card here. I'm surprised they actually wasted their treasure to do that, but I guess at the same time, I'm not too surprised. They get 1 treasure back, 5 mana, no plays. That's gotta be something then, right? You would think so. Curse of Hospitality is kind of dead weight in the hand right now. You don't need 2 of them. Big score. Okay. Yeah, you just don't need 2 of them. This is gonna be really tough to get by. The Stimulus package treasures. Hey, Sticky Fingers, let's go, guys. See what they end up having in hand, because if it's some removal, then this does not end up working out for us. Okay, good, good. We ended up getting rid of the face breaker. Strangle! Opponent, I was trying to prove a point that some of these cards aren't played enough, and now you're playing with all the cards that I was trying to make a point that weren't being played enough. Stop it. Stop it. So Sticky Fingers and Strangle making an appearance in the opponent's deck. That is awesome. That probably has something to do with matchmaking, since we're playing with those cards, right? Actually don't know how that works. You guys will have to let me know. Woo! Bad draws this game. Very, very bad draws, but I will not drop that good game until it's actually a good game, opponent. How dare! Oh, the Who Endures. Hey, that thins our deck. Now we're less likely to draw a land. As Menace, so we'd have to double block. I think that's fine. We don't want them getting more treasure for their stimulus package. That's a land. Okay, now it is a good game, opponent. Good game. Hey, bootlegger stash. Opponent's playing a fun deck. We'll still draw. See what we can get here. Still draw. That's that's a land. We'll let them swing in for any potential quests and whatnot, right? Opponent had a field day over there. Hey, 50% overall win rate, not bad when we're only 27 minutes into the video too, so we have plenty of time for more matches. What do you guys think so far? How many of these cards are underplayed? I guess we just saw Sticky Fingers and Strangle being played in the same build, so I guess not as underplayed as I originally thought. I think that is one of the first times I've seen an opponent play Sticky Fingers, unless it was like the first couple days of New Capenna coming out when everyone's testing all the new cards. I'm telling you, Sticky Fingers is a really good card. We just have to find the right build for it. Oof. After all the land we drew last game, I'm worried to keep this hand, but not having the 2 Curse of Hospitalities is good, at least. Shamble Bloody. Sticky Fingers is a great draw there. I hope Shamble Buddy doesn't just kill my Pit Fighter. It might be a deadly dispute. Another Shamble Buddy. Scary stuff, guys. Call me crazy. I'm playing the Sticky Fingers. Menace gets through. We get a little bit of ramp, which means the sooner we can get the Uprisings onto the board. So turn 3 Uprising, turn 4 Uprising. Could also draw 3. We could sacrifice Pit Fighter right now. Not worth it. Not worth it. Yeah, we could pay the 2, sacrifice the Pit Fighter, and draw 2 from the Pit Fighter and 1 from the Sticky Fingers. Nice. What on earth? Return up to 1. Oh, that's brutal. Well. Turn 3 Uprising, turn 4 Uprising. I think it's going to be pretty good. It's going to be a pretty good line of play. Even if this does ramp them, it's worth the block attempt. It's gonna be another Moonsnare Specialist. Oh no. Okay. Wait. The other one was returned to their hand, right? With the ninjutsu? Am I missing something? I gotta read that card. Enters the battlefield, return up to 1 target creature to its owner's hand. They returned my human. I thought they ninjutsu'd the other Moonsnare back to their hand, though. Which means they can just Moonsnare the other one back. So we go like this. So the other Shamble Buddy returns. And they'll have 2 Moonsnares on the board. Yeah, usually when it returns back to their hand, doesn't it usually keep it face up for us? I don't know. We're not up against ninjutsu builds too often. We do have to start getting more creatures onto the board. Okay, they decide not to do that. Treasure could mean some bad news. Well, it's got to be a treasure. Don't have a creature to hit. Okay, at least it wasn't a 6-drop. But, I mean, that's still pretty scary. Okay. Pit Fighter and Alluring Suitor. This Moonsnare Specialist is also an underplayed card. We got against some pretty cool opponents' decks today, didn't we? Moonstare Specialist. Moonstare. I can't say that. This card's really hard to say. Do they get to copy this? Oh no, that's so cool. That's so cool, opponent. That really does do a lot against the Uprising. I trade. Gotta get these out of here. In other words, we're not gonna get anything done. I'd love 1 more mana, even though we really don't want to get flooded. We don't know what else they're gonna end up copying. So I'm gonna hold the Sticky Fingers back for now. Yeah, Uprising is doing a lot for us here. We haven't been able to get too much damage through because they really slowed us down. Another moons. Are they running 16 Moonsnares in their deck? Oh no. They get to do that again, and then they get to remove. This is really cool though, but dang, a little bit lucky getting all 3 of those. Don't tell me it's another one in their hand. Okay. Okay, we got rid of one. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Couple 1/1s. Uprising putting in the work for us right now. What's that last card in their hand? A lot of different ninjas that if they're copied, that could be really bad. Death Touch Lifelink, yeah. Yeah, that could do it. That'll get the damage through. Without us, we'd have to trade the Suitor. Well, not necessarily. We go like this, and then we could go like this, and then we could go like this, and then take the 2. Pretty good blocks for us, honestly. Down to 8. They get to kill the Suitor over here if they'd like. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have let that happen. Maybe I should have taken the 1 from the Shamble Buddy. They have the Menace to kill the Suitor. Still worth playing everything. It's worth playing everything. It's going to come down to what they draw, too. 7 damage to anything? No, not yet. We're going to go for the 1/1s first, especially since we need those blockers. This is just a 3/1. That's it. Like, easy blocks. Another one off the top. Do we go for the draw off the Suitor, or do we try to get damage through? What an uphill battle. I love this one, though. Definitely haven't been playing it out to the best, probably. More lifelink. They end up holding that one back finally, and we can safely block here. They gain 6, so they're feeling confident, but a lot could happen. Good draw. That Prowler off the top was pretty lucky for the opponent. It's worth the swing, and here's why. We get to transform, so we get extra damage, but also the Deadly Dancer has trample. Well, they both have trample because of the Curse of Hospitality. And so this, we get to activate the Deadly Dancer's ability twice, so we're not only getting damage through, but if they do end up trading with both of these, they're 2 creatures down. Okay. So they go for the Menace on this guy, so we're going to draw. We want the real one on top. So if we're going to draw, do we want to activate this twice or keep the 3 mana open? I'm going to go activate this twice is probably better. It's a ton of trample damage. A ton of damage in general. Deadly Dancer. Nice. Kaito. Nice. That is beautiful. With the right tools. GG opponent. GG buddy. That was sweet though. Their deck was so cool. The Stensia's Uprising just put in too much work, even if I didn't block properly. Okay, guys, it does have to be a little bit of a shorter video, but we did end up getting 5 matches in still, and I know I talked about the deck forever there at the beginning, and I apologize, but a lot of you guys do like the more in-depth intros too, so here's the deck list again. What do you guys think? Are these cards underplayed? I think Alluring Suitor / Deadly Dancer puts in a lot of work. We got to see that victory with the Flamebreather, which was sweet. We did see the opponents playing with Sticky Fingers and Strangle today. A couple different opponents playing with Strangle, right? So yeah, I guess they're not as underplayed as I made it seem, but still a little bit underplayed. Voldaren Stinger is still one of the weakest links in the build, and there's a lot of ways to make this deck a lot stronger, but I wanted to stick to that underplayed theme. Stensia's Uprising might be worth having 4 of. It really might be. I don't know. We do have the 24 land and the ramp off the Sticky Fingers, so yeah, maybe I would drop a Curse of Hospitality and go up an Uprising. But in reality, if you're trying to make this deck a lot better, then you would drop the Stingers and add like a Kumano. But there is a problem with Kumano. You don't have a lot of 2-drops because you're actually rocking the Crackling Emergence, which wouldn't get the counter from the Kumano Faces Kakazan. Really, the only 2-drop you would get is the Flamebreather, so in reality, everything ends up working out together nicely here. Another thing to make it better, since this is rotation proof, is add some of those cards that are rotating out, so like the Den of the Bugbears and stuff like that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one. I had a ton of fun building this and a ton of fun playing it. Yeah, I mean, you guys heard me in some of those matches. That was awesome. Either way, if you made it this far into the video, y'all are champions and I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.